Small block Chevy, Holly Street Demon. It's got a 4L60 behind it. This bracket is the exact same distance away from the center of rotation on my throttle linkage as it was on the TBI setup before I did all this work to this engine compartment. When I set this properly, the adjustment in the TV cable for the transmission, in the hole that Holly recommends that is used for the 700R4 or the 4L60, what ended up happening to me is that this TV cable got pulled all the way taut, and it started pulling on the mechanism inside the transmission before my carburetor was able to open up all the way. Like, I was never able to achieve wide open throttle because the TV cable would stop the throttle linkage from opening up all the way. So what I have done is I've taken some spiral wrap and I've got it around the TV cable, and I've got this this compression spring around the spiral wrap, which is a place to grab onto with this extension spring that I have down here in a hole that I drilled into this valve cover hole down. This spring isn't too strong. I don't know, that's like, I don't know, it feels like 1.5 pounds, a pound. You're gonna have to play with the springs that you're gonna find at the hardware store in order to get things just right. It took me a while to figure out like what spring worked best. Most of the springs that I tried were too firm, and it kept this TV cable artificially tight a little too much, and I was getting like, I wasn't getting my upshifts to occur at the right time, or at the right speed, I should say. Anyways, I'm doing this to artificially increase the line pressure on the 4L60 transmission, and I've been doing it for about a year, and it's working really good. And a lot of people might have the same setup that I have going on right here, and if you do, I would encourage you to give this a shot. This worked really well. I'm able to get wide open throttle. The TV cable is artificially held tight at low RPMs. I have some higher shift points because of that, but my line pressure is really good, and I get really good positive shifts, and I'm pretty sure that I'm doing absolutely zero harm to the transmission. In fact, the transmission's probably going to live longer because I have a higher line pressure at all times. But I know Holly makes like a throttle linkage TV cable bracket that attaches to the bottom of the carburetor where it meets the intake manifold. I tried that, and it put the throttle linkage and the TV linkage cable a little too close to the center of rotation in the carburetor. And then there's some videos on YouTube about how to adjust the TV linkage, the throttle, the TV cable linkage. You basically push this thing down back here, and then this thing can slide in and out. Check those out. I'm going to put a link in the video description that has a link to a website that explains what this does, how this works, and how to adjust it. I suggest you all go there. I didn't actually understand fully how this whole thing worked until I went to that website, and I have the service manual that has the transmission section for the car that for this car basically. And I read that thing like front to back. But anyways, check out that website that's in the link of the video description. And yeah, this works really good. It should work really good for you too. Later.